We are now
But I
live,
was.
so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey
Yeah.
everyone, how's it going?
Wait, are we
Right.
live? Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how the live stuff
Hey, everyone.
works. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I'm not on the. I'm not. Should I be looking at Twitch chat actually? So,
You can. We can relay stuff to you if you want. You know, whatever works.
yeah, no, that's. I'll make sure that I'm seeing it.
Hopefully, you want to throw out a quick announcement
But,
just to
but I'm good to
tell everyone that we are
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
going.
And then I'm posting a linky. Let's copy this. Event details.
All right.
Oh my god, I have my own little thingy. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. You've got the big square.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm
Oh,
gonna
absolutely.
remove. How do I remove video on? Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. It's gonna distract me so much if I see myself in the thing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I have to look at like 4 different squares of my own face on here.
No,
It is distracting though.
it's the most the torture of the narcissist. Really. It's painful.
All right. So,
Must I gaze at such beauty?
just to check with anybody who's here in chat, if you could let us know how are sound levels at the moment, because I know that last Wednesday we were having a bit of trouble getting the other guests in the room to come through loud enough. Hopefully, want to give a check. Okay, so far it's
Yeah.
good.
Can anyone, Helios, can you hear me? How do I sound?
Okay, One Heta says you're good. Helio says you're good.
Nice.
Rowan, quick sound check.
Hello. Hi. Hello.
Everyone hear him all right?
Hi everyone. Is this okay? Should I move closer? Is it better if I move closer?
Just more face.
Da, 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 da. Well, that's the thing. That's the sad thing is because my freaking laptop mic is super close to my.
Oh,
my
you know what I
camera.
need is that clip.
Hello.
I don't know if any of you guys remember, if any of you guys ever played Hearthstone back in the day, but there was a video series that they used for promotion of some of their events by this dude who did his channel was called Raunchy Animations. And there was this thing where it was like an aggro shaman deck versus like a face hunter deck in Hearthstone, and it's like 12 turns of this going on where they're just like smacking each other in the face, and then it cuts to the thing, and it's I don't know if I'm sure Hopeful is familiar with Jiraxis as a concept from WoW, and so it's like, what's your analysis of this match? And it just cuts over to Jiraxis and it just says, face! that's it. It just takes a clip of him saying, you face Jiraxis, and it just goes, face! It's great. Totally unrelated tangent. Anyway.
Yeah, it's good.
So it's good to see a bunch of you guys here. Sorry we couldn't have an announcement in the PQ server. Some stuff came up and we had to take it down, but you all made it. So that's what counts.
Hi everyone.
And Rowan made it too.
I made it. I'm here. I'm alive in one piece. I have both of my legs, both of my arms,
Very necessary,
Yeah.
yes.
my nose.
Super helpful.
Unfortunately, the good part of the interview has already happened.
The good part of the interview
He's
is where
already
I
answered most of our pressing
all the
questions in
questions.
secret.
Yeah, this was the tell-all part is cut from Twitch. The too raunchy for both the PQ Discord and Twitch.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So yeah, shall we kick it off with maybe one of Hopeful's questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I think I'm comfortable taking the lead here. So everyone, our first question that we lined up for Sheercold today was, as you all know, we're going heavily into the Worlds Beyond series and things like that. We're exploring adventures with Jared. Sheercold, he kind of tunes in with us here and there sometimes, and we have a good time about Jared and his adventures. Say again?
I chime in.
Yeah. You would have definitely loved the last one. Like, if there's like a meme that was created, there's a whole thing, you're gonna love it. You definitely gotta look at that.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I gotta read back over that.
It's gold. It's absolute gold. So,
Okay,
but first
good.
question, it kind of comes from that. So, how does the current Worlds Beyond adventure concerning Jared fit in with the outline of season 1 story arc? Is there any correlation, any connections, or is it just kind of like a fun thing that's going on?
Can you give
Yeah.
us anything?
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
I
Is there
give
anything you can
you
talk about?
anything? I mean, I can give you like something. There's
Okay.
because like this is the main thing. You know, like I remember it wasn't sort of fully clear, but like it, it, like full disclosure. You know, like I'm not privy to most of the
Ah,
private information at the moment.
Okay.
Right?
gotcha. Okay.
So I don't know how things have potentially developed, but I was there when it was being like in its inception.
Okay. Cool.
But
Cool.
but also in terms of how it ties in, I think like it's very definitely an offshoot of the storyline in season 1, right? Like it's a direct continuation from a small thing that happened or a small thing, but like a single thing that happened over the course of a single vote, um, that then now has like led onto like the larger storyline of Worlds Beyond, and that's kind of always what I wanted to happen with those. You know, where it was just like, okay, so what happened with these, with these people that either disappeared or ended up somewhere else? Like, what happened to Carl Hayden? Like, but that's like those are bits of um, lore that hopefully like build on into
Other
bigger
things.
like bigger stories
Yeah.
in a way that like you can engage with different parts of the PQ universe, I guess, which to me is something that's not necessarily uniquely compelling about this, but just something that I appreciate very much about the way that we're able to tell this story, because it means that people can invest in both characters and events in a multitude of different ways, right? So
Right.
like if you weren't super plugged into season 1, for example, and you just tuning into like Worlds Beyond, then you can just be like, oh, okay, like nice. I know this guy, Jared. I know that he's like a part of some sort of outfit that exists
In the greater
external
universe. Yeah.
external to this, exactly, so you can like hone in on like a specific personal story and kind of like understand the universe through that as well. um
That's a perfect
so
response. Yeah, that's pretty much what I kind of was feeling out with the question there. Is like it's really cool how they connect, but you can tell they're not like this isn't something that was necessarily planned to be canon. And obviously, we have no official information on that, which is fine. I thought it was like something really cool for everyone to experience. You know, we
yeah,
all kind of knew of the Crimson Wolves, and now we get to like kind of see a little bit of how they interact with one another, learn little
exactly.
bits of information about them. But
Yeah, like
awesome. Thank you for
it's
that. I
not
wanted
like
to say.
in it's not like in week 2 I was sitting there being like, oh my god, yeah, okay, so Jared's like on the ship, and it would be so cool if he had like this adventure and da, da, da. And like in at the same time I definitely did have the thing of like, oh, okay, this is cool, we can revisit this at some point.
Gotcha.
Right.
I don't have to start thinking about this now. I just know that it's something that we can come back to if
It's a
want to
potential
or we need to.
branch. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Giving yourself
um
open-ended moments with which you can expand later.
Play. Yeah, exactly.
I have a
Yeah.
follow-up question to that then.
Yes.
As you saying, you seeing this as sort of like us, as just a viewer. I wanted to know from you, as you're reading this adventure and
Uh-huh.
and this thing that's happening with Jared, how does it feel to be just the audience member now, seeing parts of your story just go out of your hands and just develop, and you're just
Oh,
seeing things
it's
happen and
crazy.
maybe vote in to see what's happening.
I officially, I actually can't vote.
Oh
Oh,
no! I
brutal.
was
it
wondering that too. If you can't
is.
participate,
I mean,
It is
officially, I can't
because
reward you for
that's so
trivia either,
sad.
which is very upsetting.
yeah, but so the like one of the reasons why I don't know if this is also how trivia works is because like my account isn't linked in any way to the Discord. I just got
I see.
added
Right.
by
Makes sense.
You're not in the bot
Right.
like catalog. You're not in the
Yes.
database for the bot.
God, I'm trying to
So-
remember that fool's Discord name. I'm trying to sitting there. Argonaut. There we go.
I'm not. Yeah.
I was added by him at the start, so then
Gotcha.
So you can't vote, but if you again, the question is, how does it feel to read the story and you
Yeah.
know, not like always know exactly what's gonna happen, and if you could have voted on those, was there anything you would have done?
Now, if you
differently
could have, what
in
would you
those-
have voted for? Yeah.
Yeah.
what
would
I
you?
voted for.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like I'm not sure exactly which members of the team are involved in the crafting of this one specifically. I know a couple people are, but I'm assuming that Justin's had some hand in it.
I know.
and-
I know who wrote this. But,
okay.
We'll talk later.
No, okay, interesting. But so
okay.
you know, like coming at it from a Telltale thing, right? I would say that generally, I don't know. There is, to me, the what is it? The recent one, which is like Armor Up for a Beast Battle,
Right.
was fucking sick, and the Leroy option.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
As as a like as somebody who's been involved in this, I would love to know what the escape option would have yielded.
Oh, what the
Hide in the locker.
cry in the locker in the fetal position would have actually had happened?
No, also
Not
that,
that
but I feel
one.
like
No.
no, that would have been interesting. It's just like, oh no, just let me. I just don't want to die. Yeah, plead with the creature to to save you. No, so like I mean, I would be interested to know what happened, but more as a footnote. But I would actually be like significantly interested to see how the story progressed if you decided to friggin'
Not
try
save the guy.
exactly, yeah. Trying to get out with as many people as you can, and like what happens there, because I feel like that branches, like again, from my brain, I'm like, okay, that branches the story off into an interesting point. So I want to know what the plan was for that going forward.
I
Like, how is
completely
that
agree, which will lead into one of my questions. Very
Oh, okay.
nice.
All right, so speaking of questions, let's go for hopeful number 2.
Oh,
Okay.
you want to go over to one of yours again, or do you want to cycle?
Yeah, nah, screw that. Like A-List kind of like took steam there, man. I'm gonna replace one of his questions with what he just asked, man. You know me, man. I try to keep things moving. All right, so
Yeah.
question number 2 from Hopeful.
Yeah.
Do you plan on playing Planet Quest with us when the game launches? And what faction do you plan to play first?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I will definitely play it when the game launches. Like,
Will you play it with us?
This
Is that allowed?
Who's us in this content? Is it the community
Us,
or
us
you know?
Everyone
three
in general, like-
specifically.
Yeah,
Pretty
no,
specifically, yeah, like.
No, I mean, I will definitely sit there and be like, "Hello, you know, it's me." I feel like what I would do, depending on how the game.
I love it.
Well, no, I mean, I feel like depending on how the game shakes out, I generally, I have always enjoyed being in the position of like veteran, like player in an online game, not trying to like shit on new people.
Right.
So I feel like that would be me. I would stand next to the starting area and be like, "Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. Have fun with the game. By the way, here's a cool thing to do if you're starting out or something like that." Because
So you'd be a helper to new players.
exactly. I feel
A
like
proper
that would,
good
that would be-
citizen.
that would be a nice thing to do, especially because I would just be excited that what is it that Mario says? Thank you so much for playing my game.
Yeah.
No, no, I don't accept that answer. You will have to join us in the most hardcore mission, and we will have to see you perform, possibly die,
Shit.
and we will
No.
stream that thing. That is what I want. I'm not.
Yeah, we
using
were
all my
really
Sheercold.
hoping that you'd be willing to join us for our
I will
ritualistic
also,
hardcore
I'll
first
have to
mission ever.
explore.
These guys-
I'll talk to Dawn. I'll talk to Lauren. I'll get them to outfit me with the best gear possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Just come in
not
there and just
there.
like walk through it.
I'll sit
Can
there
you
tanking
imagine?
every alien hit and being like, "What's the problem?" guys?
Oh
Just
my
get good."
god, that
Oh my
is
God.
great. I mean, it would be fun
Fantastic.
to see pentakill Sheercold or absolutely noob Sheercold just
Yeah,
getting
that's true.
destroyed.
I feel
with
like
all
if
the
I'm-
gold
Hitting
Oh
people
my
frying pans.
just get destroyed.
I walk in and Dawn sends me a message like, "Hey, by the way, that was a joke. The gold armor does nothing." It's like,
It's
oh,
it's the realistic portrayal of gold. It's very soft.
yeah, exactly. It's
Get
extremely
wrecked.
soft. Yeah, fully dies, drops everything on the floor.
Oh god, RuneScape rules. No.
Yeah, people scrape it up and sell it for $1 million. What is it? PQX we use?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say doubloons, but yeah.
The balloons.
Yeah, why
It's-
not?
It's
Why
either
not?
this,
So-
this, or we get a secret creature called Sheercold that if you kill, you get all the secrets from the game.
Oh, you
Just
get
drop
no.
it.
That's how you get the gold armor. Now I like it.
Yeah, that's how you get the
Well,
doubloons.
that's a good one.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good one.
So any preference on faction, like due to equipment or just lore or just you like the color? I mean, not that you're gonna hurt my feelings if you say the wrong answer here,
Yeah.
but
I am aware that I'm in a call with like the representatives of all the 3 main factions. So
you
know.
know,
We're
you
not
know the
like
right-
making
you know the
meaning out of
answer.
this, but there is a right answer.
We know the answer. We know the answer. You don't have to say it. We know the answer.
I mean, I feel like
you don't get the answer. I was just
know.
kidding. I was kidding. No, I'm not gonna
I
put
mean,
you on the spot like that.
like Federation seems pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
I've
okay.
I've always
He
been
read
I've
the
always
room.
been partial. I've always been partial to their ways.
Yes,
And,
that is
their
true. That
culture.
is true.
They're rich, and I feel like they've been. However, I don't know how this happened. Like they've been given a little bit of a rough ride somehow.
Somehow.
No
Somehow.
idea how that happened.
So,
It's their own fault. It's their citizens'
It's
fault.
entirely
Their
our
votes,
fault
it's
because we
their
voted
fault.
them down so often.
No, they killed us. They killed us. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
You were
So
too big.
I'll
You
probably
were too
faction
big
hop.
for your own good.
Yeah, I'll probably faction hop myself. But Fed, I gotta try out energy weapons if that's the way that's going. We don't know yet, but
yeah, baby.
yeah, yeah.
I will just be interested. I think I will make at least 3 separate accounts. And
Yeah,
just
probably
be
the
like,
same.
all right, I just want to see how everything.
Well, that's
like,
if we can't
plays
just
out.
like swap with one account, kind of like Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
right? Where you can have like
Mhm,
one character
mhm,
play
mhm.
all the job classes if you want and do all the professions if you want. Like if it's something like that, yeah, I would do that. But if not,
Yeah.
I'm making 3 accounts.
Yeah, but I'm also like because I know John's vision and just
Right.
like the whole team's vision for the aesthetics of everything and how the culture is going to play out like
Right.
visually in universe. So I would just be so excited to get to see that, like firsthand and be like, how is, you come into the Federation, who's talking to you? Like who's gonna give you the intro? Who's gonna,
Yeah.
That's yeah.
We know it's no longer Sana. That's something we know.
That was I was literally like it was on the
I'm
tip of my
sorry.
tongue. I was gonna be like, is it gonna be Sana? And then I was like, no, that's not possible anymore.
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm never gonna let this go. I'm sorry.
Brutal.
It's fine. It's fine. Neither am I.
I don't think Hopeful thinks it's fine.
In my eyes, it's not my fault. Is all I'm gonna say.
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's for sure. It's not.
It's my fault. It's my fault, guys. It's my.
We're losing. We're gonna lose our host. Let's move on.
Anyway,
Let's move on.
moving on to Hopeful's
Question
third
number
question.
3 from Hopeless Loser.
Yeah.
How does the narrative of the decentralized storyline connect to in-game mission narrative or otherwise the game's PvE experience?
So this is one of those answers where I can't give a direct one because
Okay.
I can't tell you because like everything's still in development. Things can change on a dime. You know how game development is.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that I over the course of the story and at the start of when we were making this, I was given specific
Outline?
like instructions and outlines by Lauren and indirectly by Don as well, and by John as well. Just to just realize we have Don John in our team, which is quite fun. But you know, like indirectly by various members of the team and directly by like John and Lauren and stuff, in how the gameplay is going to be playing out. And
So in other words, we will see a connection. We just don't know what that connection is specifically yet, and it could change.
Yes. And I think like this is the like there's just been various points in the story where aspects of the gameplay have been hinted at. I think. And like that's I know that's super vague. But the only thing is that I can tell you is like, yes, it's not like I started being like, well, okay, let's see how we can work this in as a developer. It's like, no. We knew I knew from the start what at least part of the central gameplay loop idea was, and I tried to sort of work towards a status quo where that would be more normalized, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the more stuff gets
Oh no. Oh man, the frozen camera and then the hyperspeed
Kiki.
Alice was something else.
Kiki
So
is doing
good.
something bad. Oh no.
I hope
no.
that showed up on Twitch that way.
Oh my god.
That was so good.
You alright,
about that?
Alice?
She was about to destroy my house, so I had
Alice,
to.
your camera froze with you just turned around and then you just like super sped
Zoom.
through that whole
Yeah.
sequence. Oh, it was beautiful.
It was. I love the goblet mode that you went. To give you an idea, you just sort of went. Like,
Yeah.
she's really good.
It was so good.
That was wonderful.
I had to be close. Had to be close to the floor because she escapes. She's
Yeah,
a
no,
nimble one.
I know what you're talking about because my cat Deku does the same thing, and I gotta like kind of juke to get him, and like you gotta be
Yeah.
quicker than the cat, so it's like you go goblin mode to
Sure.
get him.
Yeah, exactly. I have a friend actually in Toronto whose cat hates being picked up, like more so than any other cat that I've seen in a different way. Like most cats hate being picked up because they go like like they might scratch you or something.
Right.
This one, she doesn't scratch you. She just goes like, "Ah," and she's
Oh,
like
she-
complains the whole like the moment that you reach under her, she goes like. "Ah."
She just screams. I hate.
How
Yes, but
fucking
I
dare you?
hate this.
And like you pick her up and you hold her and she's just like
Yeah.
she doesn't do anything about it. She's just sitting there being like, don't like.
Yeah, I disapprove of this.
Yeah, this is it. I just to let you know, you're torturing me. To confirm, I have never picked this cat up. This is only my friend does this. I don't.
Let
do
me
it.
show you. Let me show you my cat's quirk.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, exactly.
It's terrible.
It's quite
No,
cute.
my-
but-
No, my friend is mean. Like they're really mean. But I am
We
a
didn't.
lovely human being.
We didn't accept any of that behavior here, so we're picking our cats up ever since they were born, and they have to accept it. They have to like it. They have to love it.
Yeah.
So
They
they
must
did. They
learn.
learn to love it.
That's good. That's wonderful.
All right, Kriniak, you wanna take it away with yours?
Yeah. We'll move on to my first question, which
Oh my god.
I'm sure this will be a fun one. What are the votes you wish had gone differently, and why? From season 1 specifically.
Oh, I'm gonna actually pull up the summary just to see.
Oh, I'm
Which
dying.
I-
Anyway.
I know which
no.
ones I wanted.
No, Kriniak, you gotta cut down on the cigarettes. I've been telling you.
Oh yeah.
Just,
You
it's
gotta stop.
just the...
No cigarettes or stop working in the coal mines, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
That's
a small orphan boy with a black lung. That's what I get for working on the Forge Worlds. It's terrible working conditions in the Empire.
Oh no. This is G's childhood friend speaking.
Oh yeah, that's just from the Forge World.
Take me with you.
Oh god. Yeah, I
Continues
like,
to
this
die.
Is, it's let me just see. I need to grab the summary up for me. Okay, yes. Oh, that's why it took so long to load, because I made like a billion comments on it.
I imagine one of the answers would like have something to do with Casper Vars. I mean, that just seems to be like one of the things people.
Yeah, so I mean, like this is okay. It's fascinating. A little. I feel like I can give this little behind the scenes thing. I'm gonna make sure that I don't give away too much information. Or at least
make sure to give away as much information.
No. Okay, so I think that I am fine with like that's not one of the votes that I wish had gone differently, in terms of Casper, right? Because like I'm not gonna say like how that had consequences, whatever but I am fine with the way that turned out. Like I'm like, yes, this makes sense to me. It's sad, but it's sad in a way that like makes sense. You know?
Right.
Like sad. It's
Good storytelling too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I'm saddened by this, and it's also
Sad, but it's still
also
narratively satisfying.
Yeah, and also in a way that like it felt like a good progression of the interactive elements to it. I was just like, yes, I wanted to give you guys this because it makes for like something compelling any way that it shakes out. And I think but the fact that you can have these stories that feel a little more volatile is part of the appeal of interactive narrative, because this is the thing. So like I am fine with how it went. I think one other member of the writing team, who I will not name, would probably have been a lot happier.
That is interesting.
Going another way. We have had
interesting comment.
multiple discussions about this specific vote, which have been very interesting also from a storytelling standpoint, because for me it's the appeal of interactive storytelling, right? Like I said, it's just like it's the fact that you guys made a decision and you're not sure exactly what the consequences were, but you know that this is what happened. You don't know whether that happened exactly as a result of your decision, but you can infer. That you can understand that the world was changed because of that, and as such, you know, like it's like Sarah goes out trying to get back home to see her brother again, and then when she comes back, she realizes that there is nothing to come back to. Like that's like heart-wrenching, but the idea that, you know, like in another story that might feel it could feel contrived, like it could feel just like, oh, you're just like milking this for like for pain or whatever. I can see that not working as well, but specifically because it's interactive, like it doesn't feel unearned because the choice was made.
Right.
Right.
Like it was as a direct result of a decision, and it wasn't just like, oh, okay, this just happened.
In contrast to say something like the vote that led to Sana's fate, where we don't feel like we had any way to understand that that was a consequence.
Yeah, I can, yeah.
No, I disagree.
Oh.
I absolutely disagree. And that was absolutely the wrong vote. We can get on that later.
I'm not
But
even.
I am sure that was the wrong decision. And it was
This man
implied.
wants to incite the
It
chaos
was
within.
implied.
Look
He
at
wants
that
me
look
to
at that
make sure
riot
Cerebars
finger.
dies. He wants me to
not-
make sure that
I'm
G
not even
dies.
joking.
He wants me to make sure that like
I know.
Solus like doesn't
Really
breathe
don't.
ever again. Like he.
No.
Like
I'm saying,
so-
I really believe this. That to me, it was clear that
No.
choice was the wrong one. I'm not gonna say I
No.
knew Sana was gonna die and like that, but I knew it was the wrong decision. It was a bad
It was-
decision, not the wrong decision. There are no wrong decisions. I've believed this from the start. There are no wrong decisions, but this was sort of like a bad decision.
Tell that to the crew of the Lampeia, man.
They're all
Um,
interesting. This is something we'll never forget, and it will be in the story. We'll always remember this decision and that battle, which was incredible. So
Yeah.
this was
That's very
fun.
true.
It was great, but it was a bad decision.
So noted that Valkyries can deflect energy beams at their cockpit. Not so much shrapnel.
let's not get stuck on that one.
It's
Right?
just,
We've talked about this
just,
one.
Okay. But yes, so I mean, there's a bunch of votes that I would have. I think Alis knows one of them because he translated one of them. I've mentioned this before. Is the vote to display
Yes. Yes. I
display
remember.
Montez
mode.
versus like what was it? Having someone investigate it or like
Yeah.
confirm it. Yeah.
Stand like
exactly.
a team of
Purely-
like an envoy.
Yeah, for me, purely because, again, Ayla already knows, but like this was a little bit of insight into how the Edens worked and stuff like that. And I will not lie, like I was kind of excited about being like, oh my god.
Well, it was
man,
a
I'll get
beautiful
my ship.
cultural set piece.
Yes, exactly. So I was just like, I was really excited and like taking people on a journey through that. And then I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess
Some people
I guess I
got to
should-
see it at least. Some people got to see it at least. It was beautiful writing. I just imagined that scene because I've already talked with them about what was there to be seen. I've talked with
okay,
people.
good.
So I just imagine like this character like this, all dark, being held by the chair. It's such a cool moment. Such a nice picture. I really wanted that one too. I really wanted that one too. I got angry. It went the other way.
Yeah, so there was that one, and then, like this is gonna sound weird, like the votes where Sana ended up dying, not necessarily because of the consequences of that, but more because I was actually like a little bit happier with the thing that I wrote for the other option. Not from like
I wish we could have read it.
not from like a storytelling standpoint necessarily. Like that's I'm even on both of those. I'm just like, yeah, okay, they're both fine. But I was just like, oh, this is. I remember like, what was it? One of our editors read through it and was like, ah, that one's sick. And then I was like, yeah, no, I didn't pick that one.
So just happier with the pros for the other
Yeah,
one.
exactly. I was just happier with like how I ended up writing it.
Yeah.
No.
But at the same time, I'm not saying that I was dissatisfied with the pros for the other one. Like I was also really happy with it. It was just like that little bit of where I was just like, ah, shit, nobody's gonna get to see this.
I'm dissatisfied.
Well, maybe one day.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
I have I have 100 questions. I have
Use-
two that I really wanted to just to follow up on this thing about
Yeah.
different votes, I had
Uh-huh.
two moments where I wish we had seen differently, and I'm just wondering if you could say
speak
something.
To that,
Yeah,
okay.
if you could say something about
Sure.
what could have happened, but I'm gonna pick just one. One of them was, what if we offered Anna to be sacrificed and we never investigated Montez,
Oh.
assassination? And that was one, but I want a different one. I want to know if you could speak about what if we had decided to send Yggdra to sort of help the ambassador. Is there something you can tell us about how the whole rebellion would have changed, if any? Because after that, something quite big happens. We have an incredible narrative piece and all of that stuff, but there was no Yggdra never, went in. So I'm wondering how would it have been different if you could speak to that, and I hope you can.
I can't speak to the overall impact of Igor. All that I can say is that like it would have been different. I can say specifically though is that was also one of the votes where I was just like, ooh, okay.
We missed
Yeah, I
it.
can't believe we did
Oh,
that.
no!
We chickened out.
I told you guys
I
that
know,
was
I
the right
know.
one. Damn it. All right, that's fine.
The Union didn't want to play ball to save the Federation. No one
I
wants to save the
know.
Federation.
I
No
tried to
one.
convince them that it would be good to have you guys in our pocket for once.
No. You were right there on the bandwagon with A-List and his freaking spices, bro. I'm telling you.
What are you talking about, man?
Everyone
I was trying
like,
to help you guys.
we can't give the Federation this. They're gonna be too powerful.
You Imperials and your fucking spices. Come on, man.
That is a beautiful thing, though.
You know what?
Because...
You know what I want to know? I'm sorry, Alice. We never found out what the fuck happened to your spices. Excuse my French. We never found out, and no one gives a damn about those Imperial spices.
I care about the spices. I want to know what happened to the spices. But
Oh
anyway,
boy.
There's gonna be a Worlds Beyond adventure.
I
just
mean,
about
this
the
is an
spices.
interesting thing, though. If the Federation in throughout the early stages of the stories has been repeatedly shafted and wronged, it creates another little piece of culture to work with over the course of the narrative, which is nice.
And I think that is a beautiful thing, because organically the community saw there were too many active members of the Federation, and so we naturally feared them. And so we actually...
The Empire was chock full of people. You guys constantly
Yeah,
had
the
more
Empire had
activity.
a lot of people, but
But
not.
not numbers. But
Yeah,
not
that's
numbers. I'm
true.
talking about active people in
That's fair.
chat doing
Yeah.
things. So Federation felt too strong, and so we actively actually did in the beginning voted, because it felt like most votes had the Empire and the Union suffer at first, and it wasn't really involving the Federation that much. So at that point, we really did decide to not give you guys
The
much
entire
leeway.
time. The
And so
entire
Yeah,
time.
and then it grew into a
And
pattern.
it grew, it grew up until Sana's death. I think that is interesting, that it influenced it so much. We had the biggest death in season 1 was a Fed character. I think that is, in a way, interesting.
Well, I think the
as a
biggest death was
reflection of how
probably
we...
Solus Crane, but like it didn't
Yeah, I
count,
was
I
gonna
guess.
say.
No.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He
He
lives.
came back.
Well,
He
right.
He
lives.
came back and choked a
The
bee
man-
out and then threw her against the wall.
The man is outliving everyone. It's good.
Every time I remember that scene, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to
The
see
cameras were so afraid of
visual
that man, they shut off.
that.
They were like, "We're done, no more." We do have a question. From
All
the
right, all
community.
right.
I do wanna throw this out.
Absolutely.
It's from Jebediah. So he says, "Have the writers kept any of the other possible stories that might have been through the vote process?"
I have all of them in one single document. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys would never have like deleted those. That'd be ridiculous.
No. That's too. And I like this is the thing. I have all of them in one single document, and the company also has all of them in one single document. So whatever happens with those, who knows?
So hackers, that is your target. It's just a single
Yeah,
document. Yeah.
single document. I've titled it "Never Gonna Give You Up," so that's how you find it. And then
Beautiful.
I
what?
love it.
The small part of me bets that that's actually what the file is called.
you know,
So moving on to my next question, I'm curious because I
Yeah.
know that this has come up a bit in some of your previous, like in your Medium article and some of your other interviews and things.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about your introduction to Dungeons and Dragons, not just like the relationship between Planet Quest and the branching
Yeah,
story and all of that, but just like what was your like kind of first
how did I
experience?
get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So before I answer this, which might be a little bit lengthy, one thing that I just want to touch on is just a little bit more info about the Igdro one. I just to say that I think you guys would have gotten some interesting information. That is the main reason, or well, not the main, but like one of the reasons why I was just like, oh, okay, chose this
Do you
one.
think we'll ever come
Um,
across
um,
another opportunity to get similar or the same information?
I'm sure you will.
Okay,
I
well
think if
that's
the-
okay then, because that
if-
was one of the
I'm
things
gonna
that we were
give.
upset about with the Casper Varsa vote was
Yeah.
we might not have been able to get the information, if the Federation had taken care of that,
Yeah. I think
you guys.
generally like this is like I can't speak to the people that are working with the story now, right? But my philosophy with PQ has always been like, okay, like even if it's like showing people a potential side story like down the line and just being like, hey, this is what could have happened. Like no information is ever truly lost. Like it is. But the choices always have consequences. So there is almost always a way to loop back or get some sort of avenue into that info, but either that information or the situation around it will have irrevocably changed because of the decisions that have been made previously, right?
Right.
So it's less of like a like that's not my storytelling philosophy. Like I know a lot of some interactive writers are just like, no, if you don't do this, then you don't get it. And
Yeah.
for me, like that makes no sense
If you don't do
because
this, then you
you're
die.
yeah, well, I mean, like that's a possible, like with character death, I think it's fine because like that can be a finite thing. But I think if you're operating in a living, breathing world, then there is no way that even if you miss information once that it's not going to come back up again. There is no realistic way that information can stay hidden or stay unknown.
Yeah, it just might come up in a less rewarding way later, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the information still exists. It hasn't vanished.
And
Got
it's
it.
more fun that way. I mean, to serve the community, you're writing for people to read and
Exactly.
have fun. So why would you not give them something they want to read? Just give it in a different way. Maybe later down the line, and there's a different avenue to get there. That's good. There's also the avenue of, open DMs. I'm going to pull a hopeful here. So, I mean, our
This
DMs are
guy.
always open. So, if you ever want to,
So
just give a little message.
I slide that information in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk to you. I mean, if you're sad that your outcome didn't come out, you can always
If
share
I'm-
it with us.
If I'm sitting
read
there,
it.
if I'm sitting there reading the story and season 2 is coming to an end, and like, oh, they didn't touch on this, then I can
Yeah.
can
You'll
Throw a
always-
wrench in
way-
everything. Why not?
They're always there for
yeah,
you.
exactly. So yes. Anyway, so that's the final answer to the thing as well. Yeah. So
Fine.
introduction to D&D. The first time I heard about D&D was when I was reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid when I was like 13 or 12 or something like that. And I remember, like, I hated those books, absolutely despised them. I did read a lot of them, but then like I read them once, and then I would like go back over and read them and just be like, this main character sucks. Oh, I hate this guy. Holy shit. What a complete and utter asshole. I can't believe who wrote this. Like, but I remembered that specifically because that was like one of the only things that I would read and be like, wow, this I have no idea what this is. Is this real? Did this guy invent this, or is this real? Because I didn't know what it was.
Right.
And I was just like, this sounds sick as hell. This sounds like exactly the type of thing that I would love to do, but I have absolutely no idea. One, whether it's real. Two, whether anybody actually plays it. Because I'm in Amsterdam and nobody played it, right? So then that was my first introduction to it, and always just kind of like sat in my brain. Then at some point, somebody came over from Australia and had this thing that he called Dungeon World, which is like a derivative system, which is a lot simpler. And I played that with like I was a player in their game that he ran, and I was just like, oh my god, this is crazy! I get to like be anything that I want. So I was just like, I'm gonna be a 1,000-year-old being that was stuck in like that was eternally frozen in the body of a child and cursed to be the sidekick for this shitty knight that is my friend. And I was like, that's perfect. I love this. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's great. And this is allowed? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, that's crazy.
Yes.
So then I was really just like, oh, I should play more Dungeon World, because that was my only exposure to it. Didn't end up doing that because I tried to read the rules and I was just like, I don't get how any of this works. Then after my first year in college, when I was moving out of my 2-person room, and this is not related to the story, but my oh wait, shit, sorry, I played my YouTube video that was on in the background accidentally. So I just got blasted with like YouTuber voice. Anyway, so yeah, my roommate was a big pizza eater. I shit you not, he would flatten his pizza boxes, like his frozen pizza boxes. He stacked them up. You can see how high my ceiling is, around about to the top shelf of there. That was how high this stack of pizza boxes was.
What?
Dude, it's not okay.
That
Again,
is such a
these
greasy
were
child. Oh my god.
These were flattened pizza boxes. These were not like, oh, okay, yeah, no.
Is he alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. I did hear of one student in my year who got fucking scurvy.
My God.
You have to work pretty hard to get scurvy this day and age in a first world country, like, dude.
Eat a lemon once, like, or an orange, anything.
Bro, drink some apple juice.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Eat literally any vegetable. Like, most of them have vitamin C in them too. Like,
exactly,
bro.
Yeah. It's just absolutely crazy. Anyway, so those hygienic place. So I was happy to be moving out of my second 2-person room into a 4-person room with a bunch of people that I already knew. But I had nobody to help me move because everybody was on holiday. So I was like moving by myself. And I remember because I just started listening to a podcast called My Brother and Me, and I found out that these people did a D&D podcast called The Adventure Zone.
Yeah, you were friends with. Oh, that is amazing. That's a great show.
So then I listened to that on like while unpacking all of my stuff. I got through basically the entire show just over those like 2 or 3 days, just like meditatively like chugging boxes back and forth. And at the end of it, I was just like, wow, okay, this is insane, and also exactly what I think that I want to be doing with my life. Like this, being able to do something like this, that's crazy. But also, I think that I might be able to do it. Like, none of this that has happened in this show seems too like outlandish for me. I'm like, okay, I don't think that I could think of something that's like as good as this, but this was really good. I'm sure I could do something that's comparable, or at least so. then like when I moved into my 4-person room, I was immediately just like, hey, I know 2 of you, and 1 person of you seems cool. Do you guys want to play D&D? And they were like, fuck yes. Sounds super cool. So with little baby that I was, I bought like I think the player's handbook. I did not buy the Dungeon Master's Guide, nor did I really read I really read through the player's handbook. Because I was just like, I have watched a significant amount of episodes of the Adventure Zone.
You know how to play. You know how to play.
You'll be fine.
I know how DMing works. I can kind of understand how this works.
Yeah.
And so, oh my god. So, yeah, if you've ever seen if you ever listened to the Adventure Zone, you might know that they play a little bit fast and loose with the rules of D&D.
Yes.
So I had at least 1 person in my group who was like not a veteran, but he played D&D before, and I had to like sort of over the next year or so, I eventually had to reconcile the fact. I was like, oh, okay, right. I think I've been playing this game slightly wrong. Maybe I should.
There's no wrong way to play it. There's no.
Exactly.
If it's fun, it's right.
And that's the thing. Like we were all having fun, but I think like this is the thing. I have played D&D as a player, like D&D proper, maybe like 5 times total. Over my like 5 years of DMing. It's just like, hey, listen, I'm just gonna start at DMing. For the first 3 years, I only DM'd. I never played a single fucking game.
Hell yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
normal.
I was just like, I don't understand. So the first session that we did,
I don't understand.
The first session that we did, I think we started at 6 in the afternoon and we ended at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Because
it's addictive.
Well, I had the immediate like kind of god complex thing of like, wait, hold on, if I write something down, it's real. I can make up anything and people will just be like, yeah, that sounds about right. I was like, what? That's
and that really is the joy of being a writer.
I think a lot of people like have this the first time that they like start doing anything that like people can read or see or something like that. Whereas with PQ, I'd already had experience with it, so in my head I was just like, yeah, no, I've accepted this as fact now. But when first starting D&D, like I first remember like viscerally just having that experience, just like, whoa, okay, anything that I put on a page or say out loud with my mouth is true for these people. It doesn't matter if I thought of it 2 weeks ago or if I'm just making it up on the fly. They don't know. They have no way of knowing. And for them, all of it is true, and it becomes implicitly true. They don't know what the other like things are that I had in my head. So I went like full ham. I had shifting perspectives. I had a coup happened in like the first session. I had characters starting out not in a tavern because I was like, no, they're gonna start out in like different parts of the same castle and eventually converge into one another, which was an absolute clusterfuck. But I was like, I want to get to the end of this session. By the end of it, yeah, well, that's the thing. By the end of it, my voice was hoarse. I was feverish. I was literally bedridden for like 2 days afterwards because I was just like because I fully just like gave it everything. You know, like I had characters who had like really high pitched squeaking voices.
Oh my
Wonderful.
god, dude.
I'm so glad I asked this question. I regret nothing.
Incredible.
So like
that's
I was
one hell of a first experience as a DM.
Yeah, I made that one like one of the main side characters. So he was talking a lot.
Jeez.
So I was just sitting there being like, oh god, okay, I have fucked up.
So you know, you learn. You learn for next time.
You learn all the hard lessons very early.
Yeah, dude, I mean, like, I don't think any of my players are going to be watching this. So, like, oh man, we haven't ever finished that campaign, but I had so much shit in my head for that where it's like, oh, God, no. So, like,
He's
one
rubbing
of,
his hands like, I'm fucking scared.
no,
God
I was just,
damn.
Send the link
I
on
was just,
YouTube of the recording of this to your players, and then they'll know. Then they'll know it's coming.
No, but I mean, it was just like I had, again, it was my first campaign, so I just put all of my ideas where I was just like, okay, what if this was the case? What if this was the case? I think the most enjoyable, like two of the most enjoyable things, because I was like, oh, I really like the idea of previous narrative things having an impact on like the landscape. So I had this idea of like, oh, okay, what if you have like multiple, like one kingdom for every race, but the Dwarven kingdom is now a lake, a full-on lake, because it's recently vanished and nobody fucking knows where it's gone. There's basically no dwarves left, and all of the other ones are just like dealing with the fact that their race basically got exterminated a couple months ago. And it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like I like that. Second off is there's no dragons. Nobody knows what dragons is. So these don't exist. They are like an extinct race, basically, or well, you know that was the idea. So dragonborns aren't real. Da 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 da. Which was great because that I think the reason that I thought of that because one of my players wanted to be a half orc. And when I was like, what are cool things that I can do in terms of player reveals for a half orc? And my immediate thing is like, oh wait, like half orc doesn't have to mean like half human, half orc. And so, you know, I was just like, oh, what if he's like half orc, half dragon, but he doesn't know because dragonborns don't exist? Interesting. Okay, like how would that function? How do I do that reveal, etc., etc.? And this was me again in my brain. I was just like,
so
oh, okay,
much
like,
work.
oh, like there's not like this is not even half. I haven't even gotten to like the dragon that's trapped in the moon.
Spare no expense, my boy.
So much. Why do you? Well, I'm guessing you enjoy this. You enjoy the
Yeah.
madness of just creating a billion different things.
Yeah, and I really like keeping track of it. Like that was the thing.
Have
'cause,
you
like, the
always?
Hmm?
I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. I'll ask later.
Yeah, because the like the half dragonborn thing didn't pay off until like 60 sessions in. But when it did pay off, it was fucking great because I was like, yeah, I've been building this up since session 1, my dude. Like there's do you remember this thing that happened and this thing that happened and this thing that happened? He was like, whoa, shit, I thought you just pulled this out of your ass, but you've been like
That's really
like,
cool.
yeah.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
good.
baby.
Have you always only DM'd homebrewed universes? Ever DM'd, you know, pre-built settings?
No, I've DM'd pre-built settings before. Multiple reasons. Like one of them was like I started doing one shots, like paid one shots at some point because I was just like, hey, let's people want to do it. They're fine with giving me money for it.
Let's get money.
Yeah, exactly. And it also means that like with one shots especially, it's like it's just less work for me because that's you already kind of hinted at it. Aylis is like if I do the thing that I do with PQ and I do the thing that I do with most of my homebrewed stuff, then it's just gonna go. Like my brain's just gonna go like, and it's gonna get out of control really quick, and it's gonna become the only thing that I can think about, which is really nice, but it's not really nice if you're doing a one shot. Like, okay, how do I take my players through this like slightly cohesive universe? I think I'd probably be able to do it a lot better now because of the experience with Planet Quest and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'm one of my only current ongoing campaigns because it's just like I had to stop a lot of them because like writing for PQ plus doing like any type of D&D is like, oh my god, I can't believe. I'm running the Baldur's Gate campaign that they recently released like a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
That one's been really fun. Really love the group that I'm doing that with. They're playing as like teenagers, so like 18, 19 years old, and they're all like descending into hell. But they're kind of all the nicest people. Like they're really sweet. they're not like good characters. They just are really nice to everyone. Like there's no, like there's like one of the characters that gets introduced early on who's like Mortlock, and he's like horrifyingly disfigured and he's huge, a bulking guy, and I played him like, hi guys, what's up? And they're just like, hi, nice to meet you. Hope you're doing okay. And then they invited him to their house to have fucking tea, and then he was like, yeah, I've always wanted to live in the mountains. And they're like, you know what? You should go live in the mountains. He's like, you're right. My dad never respected me. And now he lives in the mountains and he's a happy man.
Oh my god, it's so wholesome.
It's such a wonderful contrast between like, and now you're going into hell. And they're just like, wow, this sure sucks, but at least we all have each other. And it's
That must be a funny group to DM too.
They're so cute.
So
anyway,
we gotta rapid fire off a few of these last ones.
Yeah.
And then we can move. So I know that you can't answer this one particularly comprehensively or specifically, but I was curious, how much involvement with Planet Quest are you likely to have or planning to have going forward?
Yeah. So I mean, first off, to everybody listening, I'm going to be on the Discord server for sure. So like I will be engaging with stuff. I will be engaging with story when it's when it comes out, hopefully soonish. Like I don't know what the timeline is, but I believe that it's who knows. It's coming. And so that's first and foremost. In terms of direct involvement, like I've said over the past couple like half hours in school, I don't have a direct line to the procedure at the moment. It's not like I'm disconnected from the people there. It's just that like I'm not privy to the internal workings of what they're developing for the story, and I think that's for the better, because it lets them build off what I did in in a way that's uniquely theirs, without me having to put my like grubby little fingers in it. What I will say is that they all have like I made sure to document as much as I could everything that went into season 1 and everything that the plan was to get out of season 1. So there will be no points.
Yeah.
There will be no points during season 1, I think, which will be informed on like missing or sparse information about the previous season, if that makes sense. So like in terms of influence, right? Like I don't have any direct influence right now. I have no idea how that might change. I'm not under contract, but things change. Companies develop, etc., etc., etc. In terms of influence, I mean a lot, but not directly.
Okay.
Like they have a lot of info that I've given them, and I'm sure I know that that's gonna help them bring the story together.
Good. So they won't feel like anything is disconnected moving into season 2. It won't feel like they're like, I have no idea where this was supposed to go. Let's make something else up.
Like
yeah.
They're not going to be like, Montez who? What the fuck? No.
Yeah.
I'm not using this guy.
Her name is Sarah Vance, right, guys? Yeah.
Oh, Sarah Vance? Yeah. I'm pretty sure I read through the first 2 chapters, and I like.
Does
Vance
she have a
more,
sister?
With that. Yeah.
Like. Oh no.
The idea of siblings of the Union being determined by first names.
Right. So it's good. It's good that's not gonna happen or anything like that. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have no worry. Like I said, I'm not privy to it, but I'm not worried about that at all.
Cool.
Like,
That's
a
good.
bunch of good guys, and they have the resources to make it link up. Like I'm sure there's gonna be teething problems, because there's always teething problems. Like it's just somebody new's taking over like a whole thing, and like season one was we just released the one of the like recap videos on YouTube, and I was just like,
Yeah, that was
I was
actually
gonna
something
mention
we
that.
were going to mention. Was that the
I'm gonna,
recap for season 1 just came out on YouTube? Planet Quest
it's
published
up.
that.
yep,
Take a look,
definitely checked
guys.
it out. Yeah, the
Yeah,
recap
guys,
is definitely something to look at.
especially for new people who who knows, ramping up towards season 2, which will
I
be
mean,
coming.
in any case, it's something that we're probably going to do ourselves. So it's awesome that we have an official source to direct people to. If you're coming in new,
Exactly.
you can get directly into the Planet Quest Discord, check out the information channels, look at all their social platforms, and see that recap video. I mean, it's going to be like you're saying. So we're getting close to the cusp of season 2. We're not really sure on the exact release dates right now, but I think it's on the horizon.
Yeah.
I would say like within the next 30 to 60 days, let's say.
Oh,
I would
yeah,
expect to see.
I would expect a little bit, like 60 is like extravagant, I think.
Yeah. I felt
think,
it necessary to
think
go
30
extravagant on the timeline.
Yeah, I think 30 is safe. Again, I'm not fucking things
Yeah,
change,
you,
but
you don't have a crystal ball for it, right?
no. But
why don't we get into Aelis's questions, right? Yeah, we got a couple
we'll try
players
and
there.
get through those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my questions were a lot more personal. Do you guys want to do
Uh-huh.
it here publicly, or want to save them for the after party?
We've
It's
got
up to you.
20 minutes. We can at least take one or two of them, and then move to the after party zone.
I really don't
all right.
mind.
Alrighty then. So my first question is I wanted to know more about your master's degree, going back to school. What is your project about? What are you working on?
Is it like a capstone project?
Yeah. So okay. So there's multiple. So I finished school like 2 years ago, so it doesn't really feel like going back.
All right.
It feels more just being like, yeah, okay, I'm here again. I guess it's kind of going back, but also I have a lot of friends still at my old university, so I think that's kind of why like I never really exited that space. And most of my friends were doing masters when I was in Berlin, for example. So it's just kind of feels like a bit of a natural progression. But one of the reasons that I wanted to go back was just because I've never been formally, I guess, educated in any of this, right? I have not. So the master's that I'm taking is narrative design. So it's narrative design and screenwriting. Doing it in Toronto, and the main goal for me for this year is to just write and get better. Because as much as I loved, working on Planet Quest, like those deadlines are intense.
Deadlines are brutal, man.
It's like I like sometimes I look back and I'm like, damn, did I really? that's
really
not
do
okay.
this?
That's yeah, but it's like on a week by week basis, so you don't really realize it when you're doing it. But at the same time, like what was it, like Paradisia? I fucking wrote over the course of like a Sunday, I remember, and just being like, I have all this in my brain, but I need to like get it out, and just kind of like crunching and just kind of going like,
Yeah.
And then just having that be out there and be like, okay, now the next one. There were times when I didn't get to focus on the writing as much as I would have wanted. I didn't get to polish it purely as much as I would have wanted. I don't think that has only to do with deadlines and stuff like that. I think the nature of the project is just like, especially with the community, I think people were always very chill with that. They understood that this was an evolving story. There was just like a slight like, hey, there's a typo here, and I'd be like, oh shit, thank you. That's really
Yeah, like no one was gonna flip their lid about it, It wasn't like it wasn't like anyone bought a paper copy of something and they felt scammed.
Yes.
Like You know,
exactly. They weren't sitting there being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that the editing process for Planet Quest is this is going down the shitter." But like, you know, and um, anyway, so yeah, so I just it was like as an experience incredible, and as a way to develop the things that I already had in my head, incredible. But at some point, I was just like, okay, now I know that I can do this, and I know that I can do it consistently. So for me, for what I want to do, because I want to do interactive stuff, but I don't just want to do interactive stuff in that you might see it in I don't know, like Assassin's Creed or something like that. Like that's fine if I end up working at UB here and doing like quest design. I'll be like, yeah, sure, it's a living, but interactivity, like interactive media and specifically games, are still so much in their infancy. Um,
yeah,
and what games need at this moment is people pushing the boundaries of what's possible with interactive stories, people trying new things, people trying to make stuff that works and seeing whether or not it works. I've always been more fascinated by the experimental or like innovative side of interactive fiction. um, like anything like text-based stuff like Galatea. I don't know if anybody knows about that game.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's
Galatea.
wait, I can't. Oh shit, I don't know what's happened. My headset is okay. Yeah, and no, so Galatea is a fascinating game. It came out in God, like early 2000s, I think. Let me see. But when it comes, it's written by Emily Short, who is like incredible. Yeah, 2000s. Um, incredible. If you ever want to check out anybody, please check out Emily Short and what she does. Um, but Galatea as a game is a game where you are a reporter that has been tasked with writing or a journalist who's been tasked with writing an article about this new exhibit. The exhibit is a living, breathing statue called Galatea from the myth of Galatea and Pygmalion, where like Pygmalion um, makes a bust or a sort of larger portrait of a woman and falls in love with it and tries to breathe life into the thing. This is the successful like result of that. And you are talking to Galatea, talking through her experiences with Pygmalion, and just as a dialogue simulator, it's fascinating because it's not just hello, talk to me about this. No, the way that you interact with Galatea changes Galatea's demeanor and impressions of you, and that determines the things that she's willing or not willing to talk to you about, as well as determining how or what she reacts to when you talk to her. That sort of stuff is crazy. Like the way that that's made is fascinating. I don't think I would want to do something exactly like that, but it's just more like anything in that space is super interesting to me. Also, Emily Short and the team that she works with just are working on a game called Mask of the Rose, which is coming out in Steam.
Oh wow.
It's
Okay.
it's a romance game. That's mainly what it is. It's also got some mystery in there, but it's mainly about flirting with some people. You can flirt with whoever. You can also choose to not flirt with people. You can have romantic attraction. You can just have platonic attraction. Up to you. Fully okay. It's really cool, and it's one of the only like romance-based like Western games that have come out. That's and I want to do
Like,
more of that. I want
it kind of speaks to the
yeah.
infancy of the game design that you were speaking of. Like it's not very well explored, it seems like. So
Yeah.
to see someone like you expanding their repertoire, right? their inoculation, and then to branch out and start doing stuff like that. I would be very interested to follow your path moving forward and see, what you get involved with, and it's quite interesting. So Galatea is something that is that also on Steam, or is that you would have to just search that on.
Yes.
Oh, we kind of lost you.
I think it might be on Steam. I know it's just you can just get it for free. You can download the file. Oh,
Okay.
Hello. Is my Wi-Fi doing okay?
You
Yeah,
came
yeah,
back.
you
we're
can get
back.
you can get it for free. It's just you can download the file. You just need an interpreter for it. I think it might be on Steam, but I don't know exactly. But yeah, so like that's in terms of what I'm planning on doing. It's mostly that, just kind of experimenting, seeing where I can take the medium, using this year of study to try and figure out what more I can do. Try and push those boundaries a little bit, seeing what I can make out of that.
So then I
Absolutely.
suppose we will hope to continue seeing you on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, one would hope. I mean, like I hope that that's the case, and also not to knock friggin' anybody who like writes for Assassin's Creed. Like I'm
Right.
no, but like absolutely not doing that, because that is that how do you say that, unmissable in is another word anyway. But that is an extremely important part of the industry in and of itself, and it comes with its own complications. It's just that I think you need two parts of that whole, right? You need people establishing stable things that work and refining what people are doing that are on the other side of the spectrum, and you need people on the other side of the spectrum just throwing spaghetti at the wall and being like, I don't fucking
And you
know.
would like
Does
to
this
be
work?
a spaghetti thrower.
I want to be a spaghetti thrower, or at least
You heard it
I
here.
think that's generally where I that's generally where I do stuff that's
He's a
that make
physicist.
me-
He wants to see how the basic fundamental parts of things work, and then give other people more
Yeah,
tools to work with.
my bachelor's background is in like narrative structure. Like that's what I wrote my thesis on. That's always like generally what I've been interested in, and the ways in which, like, okay, so we have this established narrative structure, sure. Like I did most of my bachelor's was on like folk and fairy tale studies. Like that was the main area of my thesis, and like extrapolating that structure out and going like, okay, so what happens when you push it? Like what does that create? Because structures only exist because you build them on top of things that already exist. You don't go like, okay, this is the structure, and now we make something that conforms to that structure. No, you realize what works, and you go like, okay, why does that work? And then you create a structure around it. So there's nothing stopping you from moving outside of it.
Yeah. And finding a new
Like
structure.
one of my favorite fairy tales. Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite fairy tales, I was just talking about this the other day in class, was is there's an Irish kind of weird adaptation of Snow White. So it starts out like Snow White, where you have like the evil stepmother who's like, who's the fairest in the land? And it's like, oh, it's this child. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Huntsman, get rid of this child. So the huntsman goes out, rows across a lake, and like leaves the child. He's like, I was supposed to drown you, but I'm not going to do it. I'll leave you at the edge. And like, that's already getting like a little bit different. So then the huntsman comes back to the castle and is like, evil stepmother, I've killed the child. And a servant opens the door and is like, yeah, so the evil stepmother went swimming this morning and she died.
What?
I'm dead, dude.
Wait,
Died.
Is that
she
the
doesn't
end?
show up for the rest of the book. No. So the rest of the story is about something completely different. But the evil stepmother does not figure, nor does the huntsman figure into any of the rest of the story. This is just setup.
Oh my
Oh, so
That
it's
is
basically
brilliant. That is funny.
okay. Everything that we were talking about before is irrelevant now, and this is just about Snow White surviving in the woods, kind of a thing.
Yes,
Oh my God!
it's just it's a way to
I'm sorry, but that's the most Irish thing I've ever heard. I love it.
Talking about planets and exploring them or whatever, and then like season 2 is about like farming on the planets exclusively. Like that's all we're doing.
Yeah,
That's so
and
good.
Montez like doesn't show up. Sarah's nowhere to be
Yeah,
found,
they're gone.
etc.,
They're all
etc.
gone.
Season
Like,
2 begins. It's like some guy
It's
on a
just
planet
about-
in the other solar system. It's like
Old Bob.
everything you've heard up to this point is irrelevant. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Remember when I predicted this? See, I was reading Sheercold's mind. I predicted we wouldn't have Seraph. It's gonna happen. No Seraph for us.
Don't
She's
say
just
it. Don't say it.
Somewhere else in a different galaxy.
All right.
it's gonna link up with
but,
Hayden. Watch.
It's Game of Thrones. We
So
got
shall-
an entire different set of characters.
So shall we try to get through
Yeah, so
Ellis's
Oh yeah.
second
Yes.
question, and then maybe we'll move close down the
Yeah,
stream.
I'll try and keep that one shorter as well.
I was curious though, why Canada? Was there a specific reason for this university or?
The only place that has a master's in narrative design.
Oh, well, that's a good reason to go there.
Literally the only place. Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
interesting.
there's one
Alright.
there's one in Falmouth, I think, or in the UK somewhere, but that's called like writing for script and screen, and it really seems like the video game thing is like really tacked on. So this is a bit more focused.
I see. All right. Well, the second question is again a personal one, a lot more personal maybe, which is where did you grow up and what was that like? What was it like growing up wherever you grew up in?
Yeah, so I mean, it's not a super complicated question. I was born in Limerick, in Ireland. And I lived there for only the first year and a half of my life. For the rest, I've lived in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. So, like, I grew up speaking Dutch. I grew up speaking English. My mom's Irish, my dad's English, and so like grew up bilingual, functionally. But Amsterdam is a wonderful city. Like, I love it to bits. I am really happy. That's like, I think in terms of growing up as a kid, probably one of the best places as far as I can see to be. It's a wonderfully open environment. It's a very inclusive society, which is really nice. It just means that like I never felt as a kid that it was too weird to be weird. Whereas if I'd been growing up in Ireland in that same period, I think I would have had a lot more backlash from but in the Netherlands or in Amsterdam specifically, at least, it's a bit more. Yeah, it just felt a lot comfortable. But at the same time, while saying this, I never considered Amsterdam my home. I consider my parents' house my home, but I don't consider the Netherlands or Amsterdam in any way my home. I consider mostly Ireland my home in terms of country. I don't happen to like gel especially well with the culture. Not that I think it's bad, but it's just very sort of, there's a lot of chat. I'm not a very chatty person.
Yeah.
And so I don't always feel at home, right? When I'm there. But musically, like I play violin, I play Irish folk as much as I can.
There's sometimes a difference between the people and the vibe of a place, you know.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Ireland itself, I'm just like, I could live there forever. I could be there until the cows come home. Until the sun sets for the last time. You know, like I could be there as much as I would want to. Yeah. The only reason that I'm not there right now is because I'm in Toronto. Yeah, so that's where I grew up. That's kind of what it was like. A lot of bikes in Amsterdam. Not a lot of bikes here. It's sad. It's the only thing I miss whenever I go somewhere that's not there, is that nobody's biking.
I mean, if you ever come out to Portland, you know, come out and visit out here, you'll be right at home. You know, we can go cycling through the, you know,
Do they bike?
Selwood. Oh yeah, dude. It's like a whole thing. Like the whole road system is set up here for bicyclists and things like that, and there's like trails, and it's so nice out here. Yeah, it's super green and super
Oh my
verdant.
I mean,
God.
to be sure,
Portland,
it's
you would
probably
like. You would
easier
like.
to visit me, but you know.
Yeah, it probably is easier to visit Kodiak.
Yeah.
If you visit
Kodiak, where are
Kodiak,
you?
you get COVID.
I
So
live in
there's that.
Maine. I'm about an hour across the Canadian border in Maine.
Oh, you guys are very
shit.
close.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
Toronto's
so
a little further
fun.
north, but you know.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Who knows?
But,
And Alice, you're in was it Rio?
I'm very
I
far.
think?
Very
I'm
far,
in
is that?
Brazil. I'm in Brazil. I'm very, very south of you. Very far.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Well, one day,
Yeah,
one day,
so-
when we're all
I'll-
rich and
I'll-
famous, we'll all get together.
Always, yes, exactly. So speak for yourself.
that-
I'm already rich and famous. I don't know what you're talking about. No,
All right.
it's,
That
oh my
was-
God. The only reason I can pay for this fucking study is because I happened to accidentally get a job at Apple for like 8 months.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's big money. It's nice.
Not bad.
Anyway,
Big money is good.
Always
yes.
good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We like big money. We don't like big company, but they give big money, so you know, say that.
Well, alrighty. I think
Anyway, yes.
I think that about wraps up, all the official stuff. Like, right, we kind of wanted to get a little personal, get a little pokes at you, but as always, Sheercold, you're ever stalwart. But that's good. That's what we've come to love and expect from you. We want to thank you so very much for being here. It's nothing short of a pleasure and an honor to be able to host you on our platform. With PQ's blessing, no less. Whom of which we're going to be working a bit closer with on some of these events, right? We'd very much want to call out the PQ events, right? Their server, all of the initiatives that they host. The very recent Bitverse collaboration, so very fun. If you're tuning in on YouTube or checking us out on some of the recordings, definitely hop in the PQ server, check it out. A lot of great information, and for sure check out the story recap of season 1 on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you're here and you're interested in just a little bit more of this, we're going to be heading on into our server and just having a little bit more of a little bit of an after party, shooting the shit for a few more minutes, and asking some less pertinent questions, things like that.
Wow.
all that. So hope to see you there, and yeah, until next time, guys.
Yep, link is in chat if you
Thanks,
need
everybody. Thank you
Thank
so
you, Sheercold.
much.
Yep,
Thanks
thank
for
you,
joining,
everyone.
everyone. Thanks for watching.
Alrighty, peace, guys.
Bye.
Peace.